Hello, friends. I recently had a quick coaching session with an old student, James St. Martin. He has developed an arcade game building business. That's not how he'd put it, but you'll see in the video. I was just walking him through the pre-launch of his Kickstarter. So I cut out a lot of the stuff that you wouldn't necessarily be interested in, but what I really wanted to share here was when we got to the vision part of it, about halfway through the session, he really lit up. And I just wanted to give you guys that look of how I can tell as a coach where to go, right? Where is my client lighting up? Where are they really showing me that they're in alignment and therefore more energy is coming through their body? So when you can feel that for yourself, you know, that's where to double down. That's where to spend your time. That's where you are linked up to your higher self in a way that synchronicities are going to come in faster. So I just wanted to show you that and also introduce you to James. And if you're interested in any of his goings on, his Kickstarter is live right now. I just backed it myself and I'm really excited about it. So go take a look and thanks for watching. Bye for now. You were a member of the Soul Centered Business Boot Camp.
Right.
Probably like 5 years ago or so, something like that.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember you having like epiphanies and everything, but this is a different idea than what you had then. So why don't you kind of tell me about this idea?
Really, I've always been a gamer my whole life, and what I'm doing here is trying to build home arcade and virtual pinball machines. And so they're very much more in line with who I am as a person to start with, because I've always enjoyed video games. and and it felt more right for me. And during the process, I even found out about sort of the accessibility side of things and how there really aren't any manufacturers focused heavily on that side. And so that really inspired me as well to start going in that direction to help accessibility gaming really take off.
Why did you reach out to me? Like, what is the reason that this isn't just exploding?
Yeah,
And that's not a
I've
dig. These things
yeah,
happen.
right, exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to connect the dots. I don't know myself really why I'm not. When I spread the word, a lot of people are like, "Great, that's cool," and I see one or two messages, but it's like, how do I get the big tap? Where I feel like I'm on a giant oil field where I'm trying to drill down to where that source of people is and really get to know and spread the word, but I'm not hitting that one spot.
What have you tried? Like, have you written a press release and gotten that out there into the tech scene? Because
I
honestly, my boyfriend is a software programmer, and this is kind of right up his alley. I don't know if he'd want a big machine because we don't have the hugest house, but
right,
like I'm familiar with the group of people who would be into this and have money for
yeah, that's
it. Just so I know they're out there, just like you know they're out there,
right,
but like,
yeah, and it's
what have you tried to spread the word?
well, I wound up working with a marketing team and tried to sort of get their help starting to spread the word. They were doing pretty well with setting up ads. I saw some results, but it's just it didn't blow. It didn't explode as big as I was expecting, and I wound up with some sticker shock behind how much I spent on all of the pre-marketing side of things to get all the artwork and that sort of stuff.
Cool. Well, what I would suggest is write a press release or get someone to help you
Yeah,
and focus on how innovative what you're doing is, like focus on the new part of it. I would, you could submit these through like an online press release distribution company for like $200-300, and you could pick industries that you want it focused on. So you could focus on like the tech industry, or you're much more familiar with all this than I am. I don't know if there's
right.
a gaming
Yeah,
industry or not, like of people, but you can do that and then announce when your Kickstarter is going to launch, right? The link
right.
for it, this is when at 10 a.m. on October 3rd, right?
Yeah.
And try to build up that way. And the other thing you could try to do is reach out to, I mean, you might have already tried this, reach out to influencers through Instagram DMs, or I don't know how Twitch works,
Yeah.
but I know there's a lot of gamers there, or
Right.
YouTube. If you even get one person to mention it, that could be a big thing. There's going to be a lot of no's on that journey, right? But it's more about you lining up with the energy and knowing, like, okay, now I know what to do, and I'm
Yeah.
confident this is going to work no matter what.
Yeah.
The other thing you do is where you live. There are a lot of newspapers in New England,
Yeah.
and you can send them your press release too, and they will very often pick it up and talk about you because they're looking for ways to support the community. So you can go online and get a list of local newspapers and let them know what you're up to. I've done this a lot in my time, not even for career stuff, but just even for personal stuff. So there's a lot of ways that don't need to cost much or anything of
Yeah.
getting the word out.
Right. That's kind of what for me. It's been feeling like I've been just spending my money to try and smash through a wall that doesn't seem like I'm headed in the right direction to begin with. So
Well,
yeah.
the other thing is, if you feel like there has to be like a whole crowd waiting for your Kickstarter to launch,
Yeah.
don't let that deter you if you don't feel like that's happening. Have it in your mind that it's successful, it's working perfectly, everything's great,
Yeah.
and don't worry about what's actually happening in the moment, because
Yeah.
your view of it, your feeling about it is going to happen no matter what. So if you feel like there aren't enough people who are going to be there, there won't be enough people who are going to be there.
Yeah.
So you have to just see in your mind, like, okay, this is amazing. I can feel it. I know this is done. And honestly, even if the Kickstarter doesn't work, which it will, but if it doesn't, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that your idea is over. There are
Right.
lots of other ways that this you could reach one person with your media outreach who decides to invest and back your whole company, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't all have to rely on this one Kickstarter. A better option could come along.
Right. Yeah. But it's that taking the steps towards it. Yeah. And
I
I
mean,
think the press side of things, going with a press release, that sounds like something that would really kind of do what I was thinking. And yeah, it's been that back and forth in my head where it's like I don't feel like I have enough people, but I do feel like I have enough people. And well, you really don't. And I go, I think I feel like I do. And then it gives me that doubt. And so I think it's more a me not trusting myself more than anything.
yeah, and that's to be expected, right? You've never done this before.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah. And a year from now, if this is completely successful, what does it look like? What does it feel like?
yeah, well, that's something I've been heavily visualizing, and then that's what lets me know that it's really in alignment with who I am as a person. Is because if I had, as I say, if I had unlimited funds, I could be crazy generous. And my thinking is, with through this, I'd be able to really focus, spend my dedication and time on something I truly enjoy, and I always picture myself being in my element, being someone that sits there and invents. And virtual reality, I'll be able to actually craft things before having to spend any material, so I can leverage so many tools to just to create and to really produce things that I know folks are gonna love. That's where I want to be.
I love that. So
Yeah,
for you, this isn't just about creating these two machines. It's really
yep,
about the bigger picture of you being able to create kind of
yeah,
inside the same
really,
gaming world, but different
yeah,
things.
right. This is really just the beginning, and I think a lot of my long term dreams. I want to not just make these cabs. This isn't the business isn't going to be just a factory churning out these things. That's part of it. The whole idea is I envision being a central community. I plan on long term. I want to have conventions with people that have these sort of things, and game room design, home theater design, things that people go, okay, I'm going to throw a poster or two up on a wall, but there's so much more you could do, and you could have an interactive room from floor to ceiling, all sorts of that kind of stuff, and that's really what I plan on doing is elevating that kind of stuff to the next level.
I love that. Is this
Yeah.
part of it in your Kickstarter video?
I had to start somewhere, so I knew I'd be overextending if I had all that info in there. I there's it's just the start, and I did mention that it's just the start, but I don't think I listed all of that.
Okay, so here's what I would recommend. I don't know if you can put this in the end of that or just
Yeah,
re-edit it and add something like this in there, but people want to invest in something bigger, right?
right.
So even if
So,
they don't want one of these particular cabinets, they could want to invest in this vision, right? They
yeah,
could really relate to having, like, I want a whole interactive room someday. And I know that maybe it's not going to come this year or next year, but this guy sounds really awesome. And I want to be a part of that, right? So Kickstarter is not just for pre-buying something or,
yeah,
one product. It's really about supporting an entire vision. And
yeah,
so I would, because, and you talk about it so authentically, you can really
yeah,
feel like this is where your heart is.
yeah,
And if you leave it out, like the first part of where you and your partner are talking in the Kickstarter video, it's great, but I didn't really feel the passion.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
so it's
admittedly, I'm
worth,
very camera shy, and I was the second the guy pulled out the equipment, I started sweating.
yeah,
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 and yeah, I can definitely see, like this is a little bit more casual because I'm staring at a webcam, and so it's not as stressful for telling my story. But yeah, it makes sense. I should share my vision and really tell people about it.
yeah. Because then they can feel like they're investing in the whole company and not just
Yeah,
this first idea.
right. Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah.
And this is a good thing to put in your press release too, even if it's just two sentences. Like,
Yeah.
we're offering these things now as our Kickstarter, but the whole vision for the company is this. Because you're going to be seen more as a leader and a visionary and not just
Right.
someone making one thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I thought, oh, all right, 5 6 years from now, I'll be a leader and a visionary by proving it. But I'm asking people to help me get there, so it makes sense to ask people to help me get there.
Yeah, well, and you already are a vision, a visionary and a leader. You don't have to have the finished goods to be that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
definitely makes sense.
Well, this is exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing, like, keep me in the loop. Let me know when this is going to go
Yeah,
live, and I'll help spread the word too.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I definitely look forward to it, and you helped me get some more perspective, and that's kind of where I was hoping to get.
Good.
Was thinking on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
I can't think of anything. It kind of gave me a path to move forward on, and I'll be doing that this afternoon. So
Nice.
yeah, thanks very much. This really helps, and I'll definitely keep you in the loop once I'm live.
Awesome. All
Cool.
right. Well, I
Yeah,
believe in you. It's going to be great, and I'm really excited.
yeah, me too. This got me way more excited. So
Awesome.
have a good one.
You too.